Good, happy Monday evening. I'm Riley King, and welcome to the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to this Monday evening, so let's begin. First up, Manchester officials discuss readiness to address potential COVID-19 case. Officials say they're preparing for mild to worse case scenarios. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9, Adam Sexton.
Hi, I'm Sherry Allen, proud owner of Mercedes-Benz in Portsmouth. We put every effort into making Mercedes...
Well, Aaron, everyone from the hospitals to the airport to the city administration is on the same page and preparing for the possibility of some very difficult scenarios, even though the virus is not being transmitted at the community level just yet. This morning, Manchester's mayor, fire chief, public health director, and Congressman Chris Pappas led a briefing to provide updates on their preparations for potential COVID-19 cases in New Hampshire's largest city. They say the ultimate response in terms of what to do about senior citizen programming at community centers or any action that might be taken at the school district level, all of that will depend on how the virus shows up here. If it's an isolated travel-related case, that's one thing, but if it's looking like community transmission, that is a much more serious situation. But for now, officials say people should not overreact to the fact that some cases are popping up statewide.
We are real-time getting information from all over the world, right? And so I think that adds an extra layer of stress because people are seeing what's happening in other countries. Right now, things are quiet in the city of Manchester and relatively speaking in the state of New Hampshire. So the guidance we're giving people is what we would give everyone during any normal cold flu season.
Now, right now, the city is reviewing its contingency plans for scaling back to skeleton crew services or other work-from-home situations. Those are just normal preparations, we are told, for the possibility of a worst-case scenario, but they do encourage other large organizations and businesses to do the same just in case. Reporting live in Manchester, Adam Sexton, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. COVID-19 in New Hampshire, what you need to know. For a number of people in New Hampshire who have tested positive for COVID-19. 111,363 number of people worldwide who have tested positive. 0 number of deaths from COVID-19 in New Hampshire. 22 number of deaths from COVID-19 in the United States. 3,892 number of deaths from COVID-19 worldwide. You got 3 people in Grafton County that have tested positive and 1 in Rockingham County. The common symptoms: fever, difficult breathing, and coughing. If you want to see this, I will share it with you on the Riley King Network Facebook page after the broadcast. Newmarket schools closed as a precaution to allow for disinfection. School officials say staff member was on same bus as person with COVID-19. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
We have less than 100 dairy farms left in New Hampshire. Tell your grocer today to carry milk with New Hampshire's own logo.
You can't get any more local than buying it from the farmer.
Please help save our farms.
Aaron, both the superintendent and town administrator here in Newmarket say there are no known cases of COVID-19 in the town. No one is even showing any signs or symptoms of the virus. However, the schools were closed today simply as a precaution. The superintendent says she ordered those schools closed after she got word late last night about a possible exposure. A staff member who was riding on a bus with a person who was later diagnosed with the virus. The superintendent says by closing the schools, it allowed her time to process all the information and make sure that everything was safe. Now, in a statement, the Commissioner of Education says they know of no reason why any school should close, but in Newmarket Monday, schools were being wiped down again as a precaution. A similar procedure was followed at the town hall, where voting will take place tomorrow as scheduled.
Voting's going to go on as planned. There's no known cases of anything in town. Treat it like you would the flu. Just make sure, wash your hands, and if you're sick, stay away from voting tomorrow. We can get you an absentee ballot.
Now, as far as school goes, schools will be closed tomorrow because of a teacher's workshop and the voting. The superintendent says she's still waiting for some phone calls back, but it's highly unlikely that schools would be closed on Wednesday. One other note, too, the town's team is playing in the state semifinals, a basketball game up in Plymouth tonight. The superintendent says she's still waiting for word on that game, but as far as she knows, it's still on. Reporting live in Newmarket, Ray Brewer, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And we can tell you there are 3 closings for tomorrow. Brookline, Hollis, and Hollis Brookline Co-op will be closed tomorrow due to COVID-19. And we are following some breaking news into our newsroom not too long ago. The 2020 St. Patrick's Day Parade in South Boston canceled in coronavirus fears. The 2020 St. Patrick's Day Parade in South Boston, scheduled for Sunday, has been canceled in the coronavirus outbreak. In a statement, Boston Mayor Marty Walsh said the decision was being made out of an abundance of caution to ensure that we are doing what is needed to keep the residents of Boston safe and healthy. Millions on lockdown in Italy after massive spike in coronavirus cases. Let's take a listen to that video from ABC News. Good morning, America.
Looking at the latest on the coronavirus crisis overseas right now, it reached a worldwide milestone this weekend, crossing the 100,000 threshold. It's now topped 110,000 this morning. James Longman continues our coverage from Italy, where millions are under an unprecedented lockdown in the northern part of the country. He joins us from St. Peter's Square in Vatican City. Good morning, James.
Yeah, good morning, George. It really does feel like a silent army of infection is creeping across Italy. People only now starting to realise the gravity of the situation. The Pope here in the Vatican has cancelled all his public appearances as the government introduces some of the most radical measures anywhere in the world.
New extraordinary measures to contain COVID-19 this morning in Italy. A quarter of the population, some 16 million people, under quarantine. Authorities say anyone living in the northern Lombardy region needs special permission to travel. That's after the death toll surged to 366, 133 people dying in just 24 hours. According to Prime Minister Giuseppe Conte, the more than 6,000 cases represent a national emergency.
With the entire Lombardy region on lockdown, its capital, Milan, as well as Venice, economic and tourist meccas closed for business. Both cities in the new red zone, the usually bustling tourist hubs, now deserted. All museums closed, gondolas lying unused on those famous Venice canals.
Travel bloggers Rick Orford and Andrea Spallanzani, who live in the region, are concerned for the long-term impact.
The economy here is heavily dependent on travel. This could be devastating.
Yeah. Restaurants and bars in the region are required to close at 6 o'clock, and tables have to be at least a metre apart.
It's just a lot less social, I'd say, and it's a lot quieter.
And for the first time, Pope Francis live streaming his Sunday prayer, hoping to keep away large crowds.
Now, the authorities say people could face jail time if they don't adhere to these measures, but it's unclear how they're going to enforce them. Thousands of people over the weekend fled from the north, making their way to the south of the country, but a governor in the south of Italy has said, stay away, we don't want you here. A lot to worry about for Italy this morning. George?
Sure is. Okay, James, thanks very much.
Well, hey there, GMA fans. Robert.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. How to help 2020 Battle of Badges Hockey Classic on Friday. 100% of proceeds benefit Children's Hospital at Dartmouth Hitchcock. The 13th annual Battle of Badges Hockey Classic will be on a new night, but will feature the same great excitement as police officers and firefighters face off to benefit Children's Hospital at Dartmouth Hitchcock. The puck drops at 7 p.m. on Friday, March 13th at SNHU Arena in downtown Manchester. Since starting 12 years ago, Team Fire and Team Police have raised nearly $3 million. This year's goal, organizers are hoping to raise nearly $300,000. 100% of the game's proceeds benefit Chad kids and their families. Meet the team. Meet the dozens of players for Team Fire and Police. Tickets. To get tickets, visit this link. Tickets start at just $10 for fans older than 6. Fans can have their ticket proceeds be donated to the event to a particular team or toward the fundraising goal of a particular player. Again, 100% of all the proceeds benefits Chad. For more information, visit chadhockey.com. Authorities identify victim release cause of death after Fitzwilliam House fire. Victim identified as Glenn, officials say. Firefighters said Monday a 68-year-old man died in a house fire in Fitzwilliam over the weekend. Firefighters said they arrived at a home at about 9:30 a.m. Sunday to find heavy smoke and fire at a single-family residence. The fire started in the basement. They said Glenn died of thermal inhalation and the cause of death was accidental. A woman at the home was taken to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. One dog was rescued, but another dog and 4 cats died. Fire departments from Troy, Richmond, Winchester, Swansea, Rindge, Jaffrey, and Keene assisted, as well as firefighters from Railston and Winchstone in Massachusetts. The State Fire Marshal Office is investigating the cause. Fallen airman from New Hampshire to be laid to rest Monday at Arlington National Cemetery. Captain Ryan Fanoff died in a plane crash earlier this year in Afghanistan. Let's take a listen to that video from WR News 9.
At
Beltates, customers will find everything they need for a building project. The brand names you trust to perform. And with a fleet of over 50 delivery vehicles, we deliver when and where our customers need them. Beltates Building Products. 9 locations throughout New Hampshire and Massachusetts.
Today, an Air Force captain killed in Afghanistan earlier this year will be laid to rest at Arlington National Cemetery. Captain Ryan Phaneuf was a 2007 graduate of Alverin High School in Hudson. A memorial service was held at St. Catherine Church last month. He will receive full military honors at today's private ceremony.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And now let's take a look at your U.S. stock market and see how your U.S. stock market closed for this Monday evening. And here's a look at your U.S. stock market for this Monday evening. Your Dow Jones Industrial Average closed in the red, went down. Your Nasdaq closed in the red, went down. S&P 500 closed in the red, went down. Gold closed in the green, went up. Oil closed in the red, went down. U.S. 10-year closed flat. Euro/USD closed in the red, went down, and VIX closed in the green and went up. Dow sinks 2,000 points in worst day since 2008. S&P 500 drops more than 7%. The Dow Jones Industrial Average sank more than 2,000 points on Monday, its worst day since 2008, as fears about the spread of the new coronavirus and an oil price war sent investors scrambling out of the stocks. And that does it for this evening edition of the Riley King Newscast right here on the Riley King Network. I hope you all have a great rest of your Monday evening. I'll see you back here tomorrow for another newscast. And I'll have a news report coming up in a little bit. Good night and bye, everyone.